a lot of people are conditioned and so used to a certain idea of love. Like this, you grew up in a household with mom and dad. It's crazy actually, because being that my father wasn't around growing up, maybe that's why, I know I seek a certain idea of a love, or the love between a partner and the love between a parent and a child. So I guess that gives me two different perspectives. But it's crazy because a lot of people think that the concept of a household that has a mom and a dad in it is the epitome of like this marriage of what it's supposed to be, like for the sake of the kids. And they're two unhealthy human beings coexisting and raising children, and no one's actually dealing with the things that make them unhealthy. I believe in generational curses. I believe in generational traumas. I believe that trauma trickles down. I believe that if there's tension, stress, discord in the household, I 100% believe children pick up on that. And then your home, your environment, and your life will then become a reflection of that. And so I've always stressed the idea of trying to be my best self and creating a home where that is the case. And because of how I was raised, and my mother and my biological were not together, I've always understood the concept of being separate individuals, but parenting children well. So I do stress that a lot. That is the most important thing. But the thing is, children get older, they move out of the house, and then you're left with someone that it was easy for the kids to be a buffer for so long, that now you are dealing with a person who has traits that they've had for years and have not been dealt with, but on either party side, and now you just look at each other, and the kids aren't a buffer anymore. It doesn't matter if the kids have moved out of the house, kids are going off to school, or whatever. But it's just very strange to me, or interesting, this concept. And it's really crazy because all over social media right now, couples are separating, couples who've been together for long periods of time, couples who've been together for short periods of time, and they're all kind of like, maybe for the sake of social media, but I'd like to believe, or I'm in a headspace where I do believe that people, as they grow, can reach a point where there needs to be space for the well-being of each individual person. I can totally see, maybe because the space I'm maneuvering in, how sometimes couples aren't necessarily, they can be together for a long period of time and then suddenly start growing apart. And that doesn't necessarily mean you can't be friends or coexist together to a certain extent, but I definitely understand how that can happen. And so I just find it very interesting how I'm maneuvering and looking at things lately, at least when it comes to love and relationships, how sometimes you come from a broken home and you have more insight into what a healthy relationship looks like than people who are raised in households with a mom and dad present. I've had friends growing up, and I've never envied them who've had a mom and dad. I think there's a part of me that, likes the idea and maybe wanted it, but when I was actually close enough to a lot of these friendships or relationships to realize what the household was actually like, and households where they only stayed together for the kids, where the parents barely talked or they argued, and I never wanted that. It may be because I've seen the conversations with my mom and my biological father, and even my mom with my stepfather. I've seen my mom, and those are the most significant relationships I think that I've seen in my own life firsthand. And the one with my biological father, I can understand it not working out because things just don't work out sometimes. And he was shitty anyway. But don't stay together for the kids. And she wanted to stay together. She was the one who kept fighting for it to work out, and he was the one who just kept making it not a reality, I guess. So it took a while, and then she got the message, and then she moved on, and My stepfather is actually someone she's also had known even while she was with my biological father for many years, which is interesting. And they are still married. And I don't agree with all of their relationship at all. But I mean, and who am I to say that it doesn't work? I know it's not the kind of relationship I want, even her and my stepfather. I mean, I see how they have a good relationship that works for the both of them, and that's really good. But I think the love I'm looking for, or that I expect, is a little bit more than that. Because I want someone who wants to do those, like, all the things, not all the things with me. I don't actually want to do all the things, but I want someone who also does and doesn't want all of the things. I want you to be there, but not on top of me. I want you to love me through it all and give me the space to blossom and grow. I don't want to have to make you want to do things with me or for me. I don't want to have to manipulate someone, and I just don't want to do that. I want a love that makes me feel good and light and feel like the best version of myself. And if I can have the freedom to grow and feel safe in that, then it would only show in my relationship, is the way I think. Part of what I'd like to see or feel in the love I want. So it's just really interesting that these people who, and especially in this new age, where a lot of the concepts of marriage that we are molded by come from a time, and parents who, granted, during your time, the reality of marriage and the benefits were completely different. We are now moving in a space where I have to like you. I need to like you as a person in order for this marriage to work. Not because women don't have rights if you're not married. Not because we have children together. Not because of that. Because my son will be loved and cared for and taken care of, whether or not I am with my son's father, or not. That's not even a question I'm considering. The thing I'm considering is my happiness now. And it's not that I don't care about my partner's happiness, but you can't sacrifice. I won't sacrifice too much of my own long-term happiness in the things that I need inside, in my core. I can't sacrifice that. I can't keep doing it. It can't be something that's constantly happening. That's not even a compromise. If I have to compromise who I am, that's not really a compromise. That's not figuring out something in the middle. You should not have to compromise yourself as a person to hang on to a relationship. We just have to compromise on certain decisions. Like, that's it. That shouldn't be who I am. I shouldn't have to change who I am. We should be growing together. It should not be beating me down. It should not drain me. It should not, I think people think when I say I want to be happy, that means I live in some fantasy land where I will never be unhappy. That's not even possible. That doesn't make any sense. I don't want a love that will build resentment and bitterness within me. I don't want a love that leaves me filled with regrets on things I shouldn't have said or things I did say. The times I shouldn't have spoken up, the times I just let it slide too many times. And then when you look back, it has slowly built up resentment or chipped away at you. I don't want that. That's not what I want. And granted, I'm working on myself because we're constantly growing and I need to relearn who I am now. And that's good. And I'm going to start working on the things that I love. I have so many big plans right now. In that way, it makes me excited. But yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, of course. I think some people think that with all the mess going on in my life, and this is why I don't entertain a lot of conversations either with a lot of people who want to check in. They're not really checking in. They check in up. They just want to see, because people gonna run out of stuff to talk about sooner or later. I don't want to pray for the downfall of a marriage. No, that's not what I'm asking. I want to grow into a person who is accountable, who changes when they need to change, who grows, who can admit their wrongs, who I'm not trying to point the finger at other places. There needs to be a lot of accountability. I feel like there is not a lot of accountability. There is a lot of one-sided aggression, finger pointing. I feel like I'm, and this is what I said to my therapist. What I expect is not a lot. I have to do better. But not everybody holds that same thing. A lot of people want to be comfortable, and I do too. But growth also requires you to be constantly growing, constantly being uncomfortable in your new growth. Constantly. That means you're out shedding old skin constantly. And a lot of people don't do that, or they don't want to, because it's warm and snuggly in there. And it's easier to stay there than to really have to change for the situation to change. I'm working on me. I don't think how I am going to love people moving forward will change. I think it is how or who I'm choosing to give that love to that will change. So I will be a lot more guarded. I'm not playing. I will not. You won't get to hurt me twice. My heart is too soft. It's too good. As stupid as it makes me. I give good love. Whitney Houston said something like that. And it'll go to the right place at the right time. Someone who will treasure it and honor it and be kind and lock it away and keep it safe. Who will, if I make you happy, then that makes them happy. And they want to stay happy with me and us. Or won't talk to other women and tell me I don't know how to love you right. It's crazy. How crazy is that? Like I said, it's messy, it's fucked up, but despite how crazy the circumstances were, to me, in my mind, all of the feelings, all the love, all the give I gave was real. And I know me, I don't like to do things halfway. Maybe that's why everything's so crazy. I don't do half-assedness. I've grown up with people who say one thing and do another, and I just have a fear of becoming that in this life filled with regret. And so I have to hold myself to a certain standard, and I have to do everything I say I'm going to do. And that's me keeping myself accountable. 15 minutes in and I don't have the answers. I'm still working on it, but that's all I got for now. I'm gonna keep going, working on some things. It's so silly. I'm gonna take those ballet classes. I'm actually looking into other classes. Pole dancing classes. I'm gonna learn how to dance both ways. Well, I kind of got this one going already, but this will be new. I'm excited. And maybe a cooking class, or I'm not sure. I'm working on a few things. Those are only two concrete things that I've got going on. I got 2 new cats. Technically, they are supposed to not be mine, but if you're traveling 6 out of the 12 months out of the year, they're like half mine. So now I have 2 cats. God has multiplied my blessings, apparently, when it comes to cats, even though I insisted I was not going to have any more cats for quite some time. I guess I have 2 cats now. And they love me. And of course, I love them, and I'm going to be ridiculous, but damn, I was not ready for this commitment. But I will rise to the occasion like I always do. And we'll talk soon.